So the Twitter Blue saga is continuing, and so far it's been quite a controversial topic for many people. People, like with everything pretty much on the internet, seems to be very divided when it comes to Twitter Blue. You have the one side who's completely in support of it, and you have the other side who is completely against it. You get a lot of people who already have a blue checkmark thinking that it's silly to have to pay to keep that checkmark, and then you have a lot of people on the other side who think that's a good idea, that it's now no longer going to be a legacy badge, that it's now no longer going to be reserved just for a certain group of people. You've also seen many people over the years trying to get verification but failing to do so. I know of a bunch of online content creators who are very big in the space who are struggling to get verified, but then you have a bunch of journalists who write 1 or 2 articles and they get the verification badge. Now, people have been very unhappy with that whole verification process. Like I've said, people just feel like it's reserved for a certain group of people while other people are being left out completely. So now that Elon Musk is offering a paid way to get into that system, many people are obviously gravitating towards it. Now, he has rolled out the feature yesterday and he's already made quite a few changes to this whole system. Now, by this point, I'm sure I don't need to explain to anybody how this whole Twitter Blue thing works, but when it comes to the actual verification process, it is a little bit interesting and it can also become a little bit more complicated. So when you click on your blue checkmark, there will be a window that pops up that tells you how you got your verification. Now, as of right now, the people who was previously verified and is not going to pay for Twitter Blue, they still get to hold on to their verification at least for a few months, I believe. I think Elon Musk said that they will have months to make the switch, to transition over, but as of right now, those people still get to keep their verification. The people who did not pay for verification but was already verified previously, for those people, when you click on their blue checkmark, it will say that they are not a paid member, but instead that they got their verification through a previous process. Now, the people who paid for verification, if you click on the blue checkmark, it will tell you that this person got their verification because they are a paid member of Twitter Blue. Now, one thing that Elon Musk also said in the beginning, because there was a lot of talk about what's going to happen, for instance, with a politician. If a president of a country or a large corporation like Coca-Cola, for instance, is on the platform and they have the blue checkmark, what happens if those people don't pay? The president of the United States, for instance, is on the platform and he is verified. He obviously is not going to pay $8 in order to keep his verification. Now, what's going to happen? What is going to happen to a large corporation that is on the platform who chooses not to pay? Are they going to lose their verification or are they going to keep it? And even if they keep it, how do you set them apart? How do you set, for instance, politicians and journalists apart from the other people who also have verification? Now, one way was through the gray checkmark. There is an extra label that a politician would get that says that this person is a public service, that this person is in the public, and they get that extra step of verification, an extra tick, an extra gray label on their platform to say that they are, for instance, a politician or a large corporation. Now, Elon Musk rolled that out this morning or yesterday afternoon, depending on where you lived, and he also almost immediately killed it, which means that if you are a politician, for about an hour you would have had a blue check mark that said that you were verified before the whole paid process started, but you would also have a gray label on your platform to say that you have an extra verification that pretty much just indicate that you are a public figure, a person of notoriety. But that whole gray check mark label has now officially been scraped as well. They say in this article, Twitter on Wednesday unveiled and then almost immediately scraped a new grey official label for some high-profile accounts as Elon Musk struggled to revamp the highly influential platform following his $44 billion buyout. "I just killed it," Elon Musk tweeted just hours after the new tag was added to government accounts as well as those big companies with major media outlets. "Please note that Twitter will do lots of dumb things in the coming months. We will keep what works and change what doesn't," the world's richest man added to explain the U-turn. So again, as I've said, that extra extra grey label was for politicians. It was for big companies like Coca-Cola and BMW and those type of large corporations. Now, it is still interesting to know what's going to happen to those platforms if they do not pay. I'm still not sure. I'm assuming that they will still be allowed to keep their verification. I don't know, for instance, if the White House and their official account chooses to not pay $8, which they most definitely will not, what's going to happen? Is that blue check mark just eventually going to disappear? I'm not entirely sure that it will. I don't think that registered politicians is going to lose their verification. I think they are probably going to figure out some other way to do it. I'm not sure exactly why Elon Musk decided that the whole grey verification as an extra step of verification was not good enough. I'm sure he had his reasons as to why he decided to remove it, but I'm sure in the future he is gonna have to come up with an alternative, because you can't just unverify a president or a large corporation like that. At least I don't think you can, and if you do, you're probably going to get a lot of scrutiny. There's already a lot of scrutiny when it comes to Twitter Blue, so I'm sure some type of alternative verification process is probably going to be rolling out in the coming months. As Elon Musk said, he's still trying to navigate through everything. He's still trying to work through everything. He's still trying to just figure out what works and what doesn't work. And as he's going through that trial and error process, we are going to see a lot of changes to the system, and we're also going to see a lot of changes to Twitter Blue as a whole. You can see him on Twitter already. He's tweeting out at people talking about changes. People are making suggestions and he's responding to it. So it's clear that he is very receptive to changes. It's very clear that he is receptive to input, and it's going to be very interesting to see what Twitter Blue will look like in 6 months from now or even a year from now. But I guess only time will tell.